Hello everyone, so today I want to talk about SDG 3, health and well-being, and honestly, this one surprised me. After spending weeks looking at water and sanitation data, where basically nobody was on pace to hit their targets, health told a completely different story. I pulled data from the WHO and UN Global SDG database for the 2026 release to be exact, looking at the same 7 countries as before: Denmark, the US, Brazil, Morocco, India, Nigeria, and Ethiopia, tracking indicators like maternity mortality, child mortality, tuberculosis, and vaccination coverage from 2000 up through 2024. Here's the headline. 4 of our 7 countries have already hit their 2030 targets. Denmark, the US, Brazil, and Morocco are all under the threshold for maternal mortality, under 5 mortality, and neonatal mortality. Not just close to the target, they're already there years ahead of schedule. And this isn't just our small sample. The UN's own 2026 report says 134 countries worldwide have now met the child mortality target. And AIDS-related deaths are down 35% since 2015. So there is a real global pattern here, and our data backs it up. I built a quick scorecard to show this visually, just green checks across the board for who hits which target. Denmark, the US, Brazil, and Morocco swept all 3. India, Nigeria, and Ethiopia haven't gotten there yet, but that doesn't mean they're not making progress, which brings me to the part I actually got excited about. If you remember from my last presentation, Ethiopia was the left behind country. Worst water access, worst sanitation, basically no movement in 20 years. On health, it's the opposite story. Just look at maternal mortality alone. Ethiopia, Morocco, and India each cut it by more than 70% since 2000. And this is the same pattern on child mortality. Every single country in this panel brought it down by some by nearly 3/4. This isn't just one lucky country, it's a broad trend. But Ethiopia specifically is the one I want to highlight. Maternal mortality down by 78%, under 5 mortality down by 68%, tuberculosis incidence down 71%, and vaccine coverage, DTP3 specifically, more than doubled from 30% of kids to 73% of kids. That's one of the strongest turnarounds in the entire panel. And you can see it in the trend lines too. It's not just a one-time jump, it's a steady 20-year decline in mortality alongside a steady climb in vaccination. That's what sustained investment looks like when you track it year over year. Now, I don't want to oversell this. Progress is real, but it's uneven. Nigeria is still carrying the heaviest burden here. Maternal mortality dropped from 1,136 to 993 per 100,000, which is progress, but it's still around 14 times Denmark's rate. Under 5 mortality is still the highest of the 7 countries, and vaccine coverage, especially the second dose of the measles vaccine, is still lagging behind the rest of the group. So the story isn't problem solved. It's we know this works, we just need it to keep doing it where it hasn't caught up yet. So here's how I'd sum up the whole thing. SDG 6 showed us what happens when the world isn't moving fast enough. SDG 3 shows the opposite, what's possible when there's real sustained commitment behind an issue. Ethiopia and India both proved that the big gains are achievable, even starting from a real low base. Nigeria showed us exactly where that same kind of commitment still needs to go. And if we can take what worked in Ethiopia and in India and apply it to the countries still behind, I believe SDG 3 actually feels like a goal we could still hit by 2030. Not guaranteed, but genuinely within reach. Thank you very much.